Welcome to another episode of Math with McGoy. Today we are going to be solving one-step equations. Let's get into it. Here I have 4 one-step equations so that way you can see all the operations. In the first one, we have an addition equation. In the second one, we have a subtraction equation. In the third one, we have a multiplication equation. And the last one, we have a fraction, but it's the same thing as division. So when we are solving equations, we have to get the variable by itself. Let's start with the first one. In order to get the variable by itself, we have to do the inverse. If I look at the first one, what is the inverse of addition? Right? So think about inverse, we think about the opposite. The inverse would be subtracting 4. So I'm going to subtract 4. So again, the goal is to get x by itself. So let me split the two sides of equations. All right, this becomes 0 because we want to cancel it out. And whatever I do on one side, I have to do to the other side. So now what do we have left is x is equal to 10 minus 4, which is 6. So if you see, right, the goal is to get x by itself. So I have my variable on one side and my constants on the other side. So we're going to do that for each problem. Now the second one, we have a subtraction equation. So we have to do the inverse, which is addition. So that means I'm going to add 6 on both sides. And you can also split this down the middle if you want it to be a little bit organized. So this becomes 0 because again, we wanted to cancel out the variable to get the x by itself. So now x is equal to 26. Now we have a multiplication problem. And the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by 3 because I want to keep x. I want to isolate x. So I'm going to cancel it out by dividing both sides by 3. And now I'm left with x is equal to 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So now when we get here, this one gets a little bit tricky, right? Because I can't just add, subtract, or divide. For this one, we have a fraction. So in order for me to cancel out 2/3, I have to multiply times the reciprocal. And the reciprocal is basically I'm switching around my numerator and denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 3/2. And what happens here is this cancels. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So now this becomes x. And now we're left with 10 times 3, which is 30, over 2. And if we simplify this, 30 divided by 2 is 15. So now we have all of our answers to one-step equations. All right, let's do these problems together. As you can see, I switched up the variables a little bit because anytime you do equations, it's not always going to be x. Sometimes you might see y, sometimes you might see z, a, you might see any letter. So I'll switch it up a little bit. Let's look at the first problem. We have an addition problem here. Y plus 5 equals 12. So what should we do for this problem? Did you say subtract? Subtract what? 5 or 12? 5, right? We want to get that variable by itself. We're going to subtract 5 on both sides. And this becomes, what does this become again? 0. Now we have y is equal to 12 minus 5. And what would that be? Has to do some regrouping here. So did you get your answer? 12 minus 5? 7? Okay, yep. All right, so now what do we do here? Do you remember? What do we do here? Okay. Add. Add 13. Yep. We're going to add 13 because we want that to be 0. We want to cancel that out and leave y by itself. So 25 plus 13 would be 38. Yep, 38. All right. So do you remember what we do here? Okay. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And why is that again? Because we want to get x by itself. 20 divided by 4 would be 5. Oh, there goes that fraction problem again. What do we do here? This one is sometimes some people forget, but I don't want you to forget. We're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, right? And what's the reciprocal of 1 over 4? 4 over 1. Yes, that cancels. That becomes 1 now. And then that becomes x. So what is this? 20 times 4 over 1, which would be, you got this. What would it be? 80. So now we have all of our answers. And we just solved one-step equations. Pause the video, and when you're done, come back to compare. All right, how did you do? I know the last one I did make a little challenging just to see, right? Just to kind of push you a little bit, right? We have fractions. Sometimes we might end up with fractions. Sometimes we end up with whole numbers. So you just have to be prepared. Hopefully you were able to master solving one-step equations. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Math with McGoy. If you want to see more videos, feel free to like, subscribe, or share if you feel like this video helped you.